How often do you feel genuinely okay? Not the kind of okay you perform for other people. Not the I am fine you say while your chest feels tight. I mean the real kind, where you feel safe inside yourself. And how often do you feel heavy, quietly down, or strangely empty, while you still show up, still smile, still keep everything moving so nobody notices? Because if that is you, then what I'm about to share is for you. Last week, a close friend of mine tried to end her life. She survived. She lives far away, and I cannot sit on the edge of her bed and do what you want to do in moments like that, which is simply be there. I can only call, message, listen, and feel that horrible mix of relief and helplessness that makes you stare at a wall longer than you want to admit. And when something like that happens near you, it does something to your brain. It deletes the small talk. It deletes the fake urgency. It deletes the noise. Suddenly, you do not care about someone's opinion on productivity or the newest morning routine, or whether you should drink lemon water at 5 a.m. You only care about one question, and it is raw. What makes a person still want to be here? And here's the part people do not say out loud, but it is often sitting right next to that question. It is not only, what is the point of my life? It is also, what if I am failing at life? Because when someone is drowning, the mind does not just remove the point, it starts attacking identity. It starts stacking evidence like a prosecutor. I fail at relationships. I fail at keeping up with tasks. I fail at balancing work and private life. I cannot even do the normal things other people seem to do. And when that inner voice gets loud enough, your sense that life matters and your sense of competence collapse together. You do not only feel like life has no point, you feel like you are the problem. That is why I cannot do the cute version of this conversation. Not today. Because when someone reaches that edge, it is rarely one simple reason, and I'm not going to pretend I have a neat explanation. But I will say this with absolute conviction. When your reason to stay collapses, everything collapses. When you lose the sense that you matter, that you belong, that there is a why, even a small why, your whole inner structure starts to fold in on itself. And then life does not feel like life anymore. It feels like tasks. It feels like noise. It feels like weight. Now, before anyone twists this into a motivational poster, let me be clear. If someone is in a serious crisis, they need real support and professional help, not a speech from YouTube. Presence matters. Community matters. Treatment matters. And if you think someone is in danger right now, you call emergency services. You do not debate it. You do not wait. You act. That is love with a backbone. But what my friend's situation did for me is it forced me to look at a word that people love to romanticize and misunderstand. Purpose. This whole idea of having a why. Here's the part that most people miss, and it is the reason they keep suffering. Purpose is not a single destination, and it is not that one perfect goal that will finally make you feel complete. If you tie your purpose to one outcome, then every setback becomes existential. You do not just lose a result, you lose yourself. That is why people spiral when things do not work. They think the failure of a plan means the failure of a life. Real purpose works differently. Real purpose is recognizable because it survives disappointment. It survives slow progress. It survives whacks where nothing clicks. It survives the seasons where you are tired and messy and human. You can feel real purpose when things are not going well, and it is still okay because you are contributing. Purpose is not, I must achieve this one thing. Purpose is, I am here to add something, to give something, to protect something, to build something. And that contribution continues, even when the scoreboard looks ugly. And I want to say it in a way that actually lands. Your why is not a prize you win. It is not a mystical object you find under a rock on a retreat in Bali. Your why is a verb. It is something you do. It is something you practice. And when you do not practice it, life can start to feel like you are living in a house that looks fine from the street, but inside, you cannot breathe. And this is where people confuse purpose with goals, and it destroys them. Because if you think purpose is achieve that one thing, then the moment things do not work out, you feel like your life does not work out. But real purpose does not collapse when results collapse. Real purpose is recognizable precisely in the moments where things are not going your way, and you keep showing up anyway because you are contributing. Purpose is not the finish line. Purpose is the contribution, is the giving. It is the part of you that says, I am still here, and I still care, and I will still add something. Even if the outcome is messy, even if the timing is brutal, even if you are tired, think about a mother. A real one, not the Instagram version with the perfect kitchen and the matching outfits. A mother sees her kid derail. She watches them make choices that scare her. She watches them adrift. She watches them struggle. Does she feel sadness? Yes. Does she feel discouraged? Yes. Does she stop? No. She does not sit down and go, well, I guess I failed my goal. She keeps going because it is bigger than a goal. It's a life purpose. She will try every way. She will show up in every form. She will stay present, even when it hurts. She will contribute endlessly to that child's chance of coming back to themselves. That is purpose. It is relentless, not because she's forcing it, but because love makes quitting feel impossible. Most people live by a script. It is not a bad script. It is a survival script. Get an income. Build stability. Keep the family running. Pay the bills. Try not to mess up too badly. Buy the car. Maintain the car. Complain about the car. Repeat. And look, I get it. You can be a good person and live that script. You can be happy without a career. You can find deep fulfillment in caring for your partner, raising your kids, keeping a household safe and warm. That can be a real reason to get up. The problem is not a simple life. The problem is an unconscious life. The problem is living on autopilot so long that you forget you are allowed to want something that is true for you. And here's why the purpose question is so hard for people. Because the moment you ask it seriously, it threatens the entire script. If you discover what you truly care about, you might have to disappoint people. You might have to stop being the version of you that is convenient. You might have to admit that you have been loyal to approval more than you have been loyal to yourself. And that is terrifying, because approval feels like oxygen when you have been living on it for years. So people avoid the question by hiding in the most socially celebrated addiction on earth. Busy. Busy is genius. Busy makes you look responsible. Busy makes you look needed. Busy makes you look important. Busy is also the perfect drug because it numbs you without anybody calling it a problem. You can avoid your own heart for decades if your calendar is full enough. And then, one day, something shakes you. A loss, a burnout, a crisis. A friend who almost does not make it, and suddenly the noise turns off, and you are left with yourself. That is when people say, I do not know what my purpose is. What they often mean is, I do not know who I am without the script, and I do not know what makes me want to stay. Let me make it practical. Purpose is not a job title. Purpose is not a brand. Purpose is not the thing you write on your website to sound profound. Purpose is identity. It is who you are when nobody's clapping. It is what you protect. It is what you build. It is what you give. And here's a brutal but useful lens you can hold up to yourself because it cuts through the fog fast. Are you a giver or a taker? Not as a judgment, but as a mirror. What do you care about? What do you stand for? What do you naturally move toward when you are not trying to impress anyone? Because your real purpose is usually hiding in your patterns. It hides in what you cannot ignore. It hides in what makes you emotional. It hides in what makes you angry in a clean way. Because anger often points to a value being violated. It hides in what breaks your heart. Because heartbreak often reveals what you secretly love. It hides in what you keep coming back to, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's not profitable, even when nobody sees it. And people still ask, okay, but how do I find it? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You do not find it. You choose it. You practice it. You build it. That inner why is not discovered like a lost wallet. That inner why is created through alignment, through congruence, through living in a way that matches what you say you value. That is why you can achieve goals and still feel empty. Goals are measurable. Your reason to stay is felt. You can tick every box and still feel like you are failing at life because you are succeeding at someone else's idea of success. You can make money and still feel numb. You can be praised and still feel unseen. Because the nervous system does not care about your achievements. Your nervous system cares whether you are safe and whether you are truthful. And living out of alignment is a quiet form of danger. Your body knows when you are abandoning yourself. I have lived this. I have watched people chase status like it is oxygen. I have watched them collect achievements like trophies while their eyes go dull. I have also done the thing where you solve inner emptiness with outer motion. The problem is that you can always go faster. You can always do more. You can always raise the bar. And if your life is built on approval, the bar never stops moving. That is not ambition. That is hunger. And hunger never says thank you. So let me bring it back to that moment with my friend because it matters. When I imagine her sitting in that place where life feels like too much and nothing at the same time, I do not think the absence was a big dream. I think the absence was connection to herself, connection to a reason, connection to a why, even a tiny why to stay. In that darkness, you do not need a grand vision. You need a thread. You need something that says, hold on. One more day. One more call. One more sunrise. A reason to stay can be that thread. And this is why I say purpose is a verb. It is not what you announce. It is what you do when it is Tuesday night and you are tired and nobody is watching. It is how you treat your partner when you are stressed. It is how you speak to your child when they disappoint you. It is how you speak to yourself when you mess up. It is whether you show up for someone when it is inconvenient. It is whether you protect your own energy instead of sacrificing yourself for acceptance. It is whether you live like you matter, because you do. Now let me add one stupid image, because sometimes humor is the only way truth gets past your defenses. Most people are building their life like an IKEA cabinet without the manual. They are following the picture on the box because it looks good, and they are forcing it together while pretending they are fine. They end up with 3 screws left, 1 door that will not close, and they say, it is probably supposed to be like that. Then they sit on it, it collapses, and they act surprised. That is goals without a why. It looks impressive until you put weight on it. Here's the better question. Not what is my purpose, but what feels true for me, even if nobody applauds it. If you remove praise and criticism, what would you still care about? What would you still want to contribute? Where do you feel most like yourself? When do you feel proud in a quiet way? Not the bragging way, but the grounded way. That is where you start. And if your answer is, I have no idea, then good. That is honest. Start there. Purpose begins when you stop performing certainty and you start telling the truth. If you feel numb, tell the truth. If you feel lost, tell the truth. If you feel like your life looks fine but feels wrong, tell the truth. That truth is not weakness. That truth is the doorway. Because the outcome of purpose is not hustle. The outcome is not pressure. The outcome is direction. Drive changes when it comes from a real why. It stops being a whip that pushes you, and it becomes a quiet fire that pulls you. It becomes I want instead of I must. It becomes a reason to get up that is not fear. So if you are listening and you feel the heaviness, I want you to hear one thing clearly. You do not need to reinvent your whole life overnight. You need one aligned step, one honest conversation, one boundary, one act of service, one decision that says, I'm coming back to myself. Purpose is built in small repetitions. It is built in how you live, not in what you claim. And if there is someone in your life right now who feels like my friend felt, take it seriously. Do not moralize it. Do not minimize it. Do not try to be the hero. Be present. Encourage professional help. Stay connected. And if you think there is immediate danger, call emergency services in your country. That is what real love does.